In 2025, under the Trump administration, the immigration landscape for green card holders has shifted dramatically. What used to feel like a secure status is now under intense scrutiny. If you are a lawful permanent resident in the United States, the rules you thought you knew have changed, and the stakes are higher than ever. The Trump administration has launched a targeted initiative to tighten control over who gets to keep permanent residency. And this isn't just affecting new applicants. It's reaching deep into the lives of people who have held green cards for years, even decades. In this video, we're going to break down exactly what this crackdown means, what has changed, real examples of people affected, and most importantly, the clear, actionable steps you can take right now to protect your green card in 2025. The crackdown began with a series of executive orders early this year. The administration directed the Department of Homeland Security, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, and Immigration and Customs Enforcement to collaborate on reviewing not only those applying for green cards, but also those who already have them. Every interaction with immigration authorities, from renewing your green card to applying for U.S. citizenship, or even returning from a trip abroad, is now a potential trigger for a full review of your history. Officials have been instructed to dig into past criminal records, travel patterns, financial history, and even social media activity. This represents a significant expansion of enforcement compared to previous years. Under Trump's policies, the list of what can get your green card revoked has grown longer. Criminal convictions are now a major focus, and this isn't limited to serious crimes. Old misdemeanors, repeat traffic offenses like multiple DUIs, and charges related to fraud or domestic disputes can now be used as grounds for deportation proceedings. Immigration officials have also been told to examine whether you've been outside the United States for too long. If you have spent more than 6 months abroad without a re-entry permit, you could be accused of abandoning your permanent resident status. Even longer absences for family emergencies are now being questioned more aggressively than before. One of the most controversial elements is the return of the public charge review in a new form. While the original public charge rule was blocked in the courts years ago, the Trump administration has reintroduced the idea through internal policy guidance. USCIS officers are being encouraged to consider whether a green card holder has relied heavily on government assistance, such as food stamps, Medicaid, or housing benefits, and whether that reliance might continue. The guidance is vague, which means officers have a lot of discretion to decide what counts as a red flag. Fraud or misrepresentation is another big target area. Officers are cross-checking past visa applications, marriage green card interviews, and employment history against new statements you make. They are also allowed to use open-source intelligence, which means your publicly available social media posts could be reviewed for inconsistencies. Something as simple as posting vacation pictures that don't align with your claimed work schedule could raise questions. National security concerns are also being prioritized, and anyone linked, even indirectly, to activities the government considers a threat can face revocation of status. This might sound theoretical, but it's already affecting real people. Take the example of a man in New York who had lived in the U.S. for over 20 years. He was stopped at JFK Airport after a family trip and questioned about a misdemeanor from 2004. That old conviction, which he thought was long behind him, became the basis for putting him into removal proceedings. In Texas, a woman applying for citizenship was denied after USCIS claimed her marriage was fraudulent. The evidence? Inconsistent statements gathered from neighbors during an investigation, despite her having lived with her spouse for years. In California, a man who had traveled frequently to care for his sick mother overseas was told his absences suggested he he wasn't maintaining permanent residence, even though he had a home, job, and taxes filed in the U.S. So why is this happening now? The Trump administration's position is clear. Green cards are a privilege, not a right, and U.S. immigration law has always allowed for removal if a person becomes deportable. Officials argue that strict enforcement ensures integrity in the immigration system and prevents abuse. Critics say this is political theater, designed to send a tough-on-immigration message to Trump's voter base. They also point out that the policies disproportionately impact immigrants from certain regions and create an atmosphere of fear, even for those who have followed the rules for years. Regardless of the political debate, the practical reality is that green card holders now face more risks than at any time in recent history. The good news is there are clear steps you can take to protect yourself. First, know your record. You should request an FBI background check and review your immigration history so you understand exactly what is in your file. Never assume that old charges or dismissed cases have disappeared. Second, avoid long trips abroad if possible. If you must be away for an extended period, apply for a re-entry permit before you leave and keep evidence of your ties to the U.S., such as an active job, home ownership, or close family relationships. Third, always keep your address updated with USCIS. This might seem small, but failing to update your address is a legal violation and could cause you to miss critical notices. Fourth, be 100% truthful in every immigration form and interview. Even a small omission can be considered misrepresentation. If you're unsure how to answer something, speak to an experienced immigration attorney before submitting. Fifth, maintain financial independence as much as possible. While using public benefits is not automatically disqualifying, avoid unnecessary reliance and keep thorough records of your employment and income. Sixth, if you receive any notice from USCIS or ICE, do not delay in seeking legal help. An attorney who specializes in deportation defense can make a huge difference in the outcome. Finally, stay informed. Immigration policies are changing quickly in 2025, so follow credible sources and legal updates. If you are targeted for review or investigation, the most important thing is not to panic. If USCIS or ICE asks for additional evidence, respond within the deadline, but do so strategically. Do not attend interviews without understanding your rights. You have the right to have an attorney present, and in many cases, simply having legal representation changes the tone and direction of the interview. If you're stopped at a port of entry, remain calm and answer only basic questions about your identity. If questioning moves into your immigration history, you can request legal counsel before continuing. If you're given a notice to appear in immigration court, understand that this does not mean immediate deportation. You have the right to present your case before a judge. Thinking long-term, one of the best protections you can have is U.S. citizenship. Once you meet the eligibility requirements, applying for naturalization reduces your risk of deportation dramatically. While citizenship can be revoked in rare cases of fraud, the legal threshold is much higher than for green card holders. Along with citizenship, you gain the right to vote, more travel flexibility, and access to benefits without the same level of scrutiny. Keep your personal documentation organized: tax returns, property records, employment proof, and evidence of community involvement, so that you can quickly prove your commitment to living in and contributing to the U.S. The Trump administration's 2025 Green Card Crackdown is a wake-up call. It's a reminder that permanent residency is not as permanent as many believe. This is not the time to assume that following the law is enough. You must be proactive in protecting your status. The rules have changed, the enforcement has intensified, and the government is looking more closely at every detail of your life. But if you take the right precautions, stay informed, and get legal help when needed, you can continue to live and build your future in the United States without fear. Your green card is more than a document. It's the foundation of your life in America. Treat it with the care and attention it deserves. In this environment, information is your strongest defense, and preparation is your best protection. Share this information with every green card holder you know, because in 2025, awareness could be the difference between staying and leaving.